The Ultimate Computer was one of those lesser-known classics, but a rather good episode. It's remembered for that supercomputer that ran the Enterprise for a couple hours before it went berserk during a simulated wargame, and Captain Kirk argues with the computer and wins. The fear of automation and machine, the rise of the computer, has long been part of film. But the more I view this episode, the more I see the different stories. It's more than just computer versus man. It spins timeless tales of man versus himself, disguised in a body of metal and plastic. The Ultimate Computer also gives a glimpse of the political machines within the Federation that some may find unappealing. This is my essay of a simple episode about a scientist, his supercomputer, and Captain Dunzel. The Ultimate Computer originally aired on March 8, 1968, directed by John Meredith Lucas, with writing credits to D.C. Fontana. The story of the Ultimate Computer is quickly told. The Enterprise is called to a secret space station where most of the Enterprise crew will be held in isolation. A Commodore of higher rank and greater humanity tells Kirk his ship will be run by a computer in an experiment that includes wargames. What could go wrong? The great Dr. Daystrom brings his supercomputer aboard, the M5. After it's plugged into the Enterprise, it takes control.
Total control?
Yes, total control. Challenged with different situations, it makes the right decisions at the right time. It even wins its first war game when it's outnumbered 4-1 by Constellation-class starships. But the M5 begins to glitch, destroying an unmanned spaceship because it was in reach. Kirk, his crew, and Dr. Daystrom are unable to explain the anomaly. Kirk shuts down the experiment, saying the M5 is out of a job. But the M5 doesn't want to go anywhere. It stops computing and begins living. It defends itself and toys with the silly humans aboard. They try to shut it off, but the M5 just won't die. Outsmarting Scotty and even Spock, the M5 prepares for its next scenario, a second attack by Commodore Wesley in his foolish pursuit of a war drill. But the M5 supercomputer is ready, doesn't think of it as just a drill, but an affront on its existence, and strikes the mighty Starfleet vessels, much to the pleasure of a proud yet insane Dr. Daystrom. Daystrom goes on a rant like a certified nut. He's taken away, leaving Kirk to give one of his best guilt trips ever, and the M5 goes to sleep waiting for Commodore Wesley to bring justice. But Kirk is spared by Wesley's humanity. The M5 multitronic unit will never be seen or heard again. The M5 represents the super in science fiction supercomputers. After all, it is ultimate. It's more than a computer brain running algorithms and making command decisions. For the M5 to execute its decision-making, it had to connect to different parts of the ship, much like a nervous system, sending signals to different parts of the body: navigation, engineering, life support, sensors, helm control, communications, weapons and fire control.
That's Dr. Richard Daystrom's device, isn't it?
The most ambitious computer complex ever created. Its purpose is to correlate all computer activity aboard a starship.
But the M5 did more than auto-connect with the Enterprise's different systems. It created new outputs on its own. It emitted a defense force shield and invented new wireless energy technologies. The renowned Dr. Daystrom never gave the M5 an off switch. Yet, the M5 didn't enjoy speaking with humans, not even its creator, only giving biological units one way to communicate with it: the M5 tie-in. One microphone, one speaker, one switch was the gateway between reality and an artificial intelligent god with the power of a Starfleet ship to command. Did you ever wonder why Starfleet was so quick to go with a live demonstration, relying only on simulated tests? We know the M5 wargame was extremely important to Starfleet. Commodores Enright and Wesley call in Kirk's ship to participate in the historic moment. It's often a bad omen when one Commodore makes an appearance, worse with two. Most of the Enterprise crew were held in a secure location, isolated and imprisoned for the crime of being human. The future of a galaxy led by M5 machines was already foreshadowed. Why would they do this? Why the risk? The answer lies in the government, the Federation, who finances and governs Starfleet. Dr. Daystrom had given a moving and passionate speech to its bureaucrats and policymakers. His words are well rehearsed.
One machine can do all those things they send men out to do now. Men no longer need die in space or on some alien world. Men can live and go on to achieve greater things than fact-finding and dying for galactic space, which is neither ours to give or to take. We can't understand. We don't want to destroy life, we want to save it.
The speech was received with rousing applause. The dreams of Dr. Daystrom will not be ignored nor denied. His vision of space exploration will go forward. It's his engrams, his philosophies, his soul inside the M5. Why did the M5 go berserk? The prevailing theory is the M5 couldn't tell the difference between wargaming and the real thing, but we do see that it played by the rules with its first battle with Wesley's surprise attack. The M5 gets a little giddy, a little glitchy, maybe a little too proud as it lashes out on an unmanned spacecraft soon after. Another theory is the M5 did not know the second wave was a game because no one bothered to tell it. After all, there was already a simulated battle that came and went. Therefore, the M5 went into full operation. The final theory I have is a little deeper and much more dark, perhaps brought up by few others, if anyone. But before I reveal my theory why the M5 went berserk, like, share, or subscribe if you enjoy Star Trek content on this channel. Thank you for your support. The surprise attack by 4 starships on one was something the M5 found much displeasure in. It didn't like that at all. Although it was able to evade and scare them off, it acted like an impetuous child pounding sand on a playground. It lashed out on the first defenseless object it saw, the Woden, the ore mining ship that was minding its own business. When the 4 Starfleet ships returned, the M5 was prepared to act out its wrath. The bullied becomes the bully. The M5 doesn't like to be picked on or let anyone take credit for its decisions. Who does this remind you of? Yes, Dr. Daystrom was bullied earlier in his life.
Seminars and lectures to rows of fools who couldn't begin to understand my systems. Colleagues laughing behind my back at the boy wonder and becoming famous building on my work. Building on my work.
His broken psyche, his torment, was copied into the M5 engrams, a forever living being looking to seek and destroy all bullies in the galaxy. For over 25 years, he long lived to lash out. In his brilliance, he developed the M5 to do it for him. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of Dr. Daystrom? Genius or certified nut? This is Mr. G of Synergy saying, if you feel your job is threatened by a computer, look to Captain Kirk and make yourself a stiff drink. Check out my other videos on the channel. Thanks for watching.